Oh boy, the reality of this truth was a hard one for many people to swallow.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking me. We have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable.
Yep, we are. And we're also talking about another foreign government that a lot of people are now talking about more than ever, as we have a CIA whistleblower directly now pinpointing them to the Jeffrey Epstein saga. A saga that will never get fully revealed to the American public, nor the public of the world, as of course we are now ongoing a major cover-up effort, as there's individuals that are now trying to obfuscate and, of course, make you forget all about it. As Joe Rogan had a very interesting comment on all of this, as he, of course, is being attacked by a lot of the people who are shilling for that one particular country that we're going to be discussing here. As, of course, talking about this particular issue here is detrimental to my career. So please subscribe and click the notification button, as of course we've been talking about the Jeffrey Epstein saga for over 15 plus years now. And if you appreciate our ability to go to the island, to confront politicians on this, to make this a forefront issue from the very beginning, subscribe. It really does mean a lot to us. Your support needed now more than ever, as Patrick Bet-David recently interviewed a CIA whistleblower, John Kiriakou, who exposed the CIA and then went to prison for it, as he sat down with Patrick Bet-David. And this is what he had to say after Patrick Bet-David played him the video clip that you just saw in our introduction video.
Size up the other person's body.
Absolutely.
When you see this here, you see the president, you see Bond, you see the way they're handling this topic.
Yeah.
In your mind, what are you speculating?
That they're deflecting.
Why?
I think that this is one of those things where they just don't want people to go deeper. And
Why?
I don't think it...
Yeah, I absolutely agree. When you do go deeper, you find out how power absolutely works. And then when you look at most secret societies, they have you do really messed up stuff in order to get into a better position into their secret society, because the more compromise that you have on you, the more easily you can be controlled. The more easily those kind of positions of power just open up for you. Once, of course, you got those videotapes of you, once they have that compromise on you, once they have you in their grips of control, once they have those strings attached to you like a perfect little mannequin puppet, bada bing, bada boom, you are in. You, sir, can now become the next president of the United States. And that's why there's so much, rumors about Bill Clinton, so many rumors about Barack Obama, all of them being, undercover brothers, going to the Bohemian Grove, doing all this other stuff, secret societies like Skull and Bones, where politicians like the cousins, John Kerry and George W. Bush, that were, in coffins, pleasuring themselves in front of other members, revealing their darkest and secret, nastiest, most fantasies. Yeah, that's how power works. That's how a lot of the institutions within the United States works. And I think John Kiriakou is absolutely right here. But then he takes it a little bit further.
It has to do with, I don't think people are going to be implicated if the people in the White House are going to be implicated in anything. I think it's more about protecting the Israelis, actually.
Now, boom. Bombshell statement, pretty serious statement. But is there any validity to this? As, of course, a lot of people are pointing to the kind of circumstantial coincidence of Bibi being there on July 7th, 7/7, a very important day for the Israelis, especially if they believe in the kind of Kabbalah, Israeli cult stuff. Lots of deeper down the rabbit holes we could go down there. But a lot of people are saying, a lot of the stuff being revealed when Bibi's here isn't a coincidence. But to me, that's too much of a coincidence that Bibi's here and therefore he's here. He's a part of all of this. No, there's a lot of other things at play here. Specifically, we have the former Israeli Prime Minister Edmund Barak, who has visited and spent a lot of time with Jeffrey Epstein, who also, of course, is implicated here. We have Ghislaine Maxwell's father that had very high regards by the Israelis. and a lot of connections with the Israelis. But to be fair, he also had connections with the British, he also had connections with the Russians, and many people believe that he was a double, triple asset. And of course, this is where the operation, for a lot of people say, began. It started with Robert Maxwell. He was Ghislaine Maxwell's father. He was the main kind of intel figure, media head, corporate narrative guy over in the United Kingdom that also was very closely connected to the royal family. The royal family also, lots of very key instances where, of course, a lot of the key members of that family implicated with hurting small children, Jimmy Savile and all this other stuff here. Now, is this just fully an Israeli operation? Well, listen, I don't know. Are they a part of it? I think so, 100%. And I think CIA, Mossad, is it just them? I don't know. But when it comes to the things that you're allowed to talk about and you're not allowed to talk about, it makes people say, yeah, 100%. Now, there's other people that take it too far and obviously just say, I hate all people who are this, and I'm not one of those people. Those people could unsubscribe if they want to unsubscribe here, but I find those people to be a little bit ridiculous here to believe that the average schmoolie down the street here is involved in some kind of conspiracy, and that type of thinking, I think, is regressive, it's backward, and it definitely deviates, and it definitely takes away from the real conversation, as I would even argue that there's a big potential for a lot of those conversations to be psyops within themselves, to be set up in a way that they take away from the real legitimate conversation with what is really going on behind the seats of power. Now, before talking about this, your support, again, needed more than ever. Truly. If you haven't supported us before, this is the time to do it. Seriously. Our coffers are pretty low here, and we need your support. I got screwed over by the IRS pretty seriously last year. They took away everything. We're starting off from zero. And we're fighting some very serious fights here. And during these key, very serious fights and battles here, we can't do it without your support. 20 cents a day, that's all it costs, and you get cool things. I'm going to leave for a meetup very soon where it's just going to be members of LukeUnfiltered.com. We're going to meet up, we're going to hang out, we're going to break bread, and we're going to talk and just spend some time together. So if you want to meet, network, you get to talk to me and other people, especially in the members chat. I'm going to go in there soon. A lot of people are talking in there right now. I share a lot of my private photos and a lot of different things. You get access to me directly through LukeUnfiltered.com. 13 plus years of exclusive videos, 3 masterclasses, lots of really incredible offers of value. Now, this statement here, let's see what John Kiriakou said after this, because I think it's important. I think it's important to have this conversation, and I think it's important to connect the dots here and to understand that, hey, this is not just a CIA issue, because it isn't. There's multi-agencies involved here, and the fact that there are multiple agencies involved here, this could mean that, yes, certain governments that are implicated, or let's just say have the Epstein files, or using the Epstein files for national security purposes, could come to Donald Trump and say, yo, Donald, no. You're not going to release this. This implicates us. This is going to hurt the stock market here. Don't do this. And we don't want you to do this. And that could be exactly what's going on here. But is it the sole reason? I think we don't have smoking gun proof evidence of that. But I think we are now in the realm of speculation. And that's all we have. Why is that all we have here? Well, it's because the government doesn't give us anything and they don't want to release any files, and they just declared case closed in the most disingenuous, the most absolutely abrupt and backwards way, in my opinion.
Why?
Jeffrey Epstein, in my view, is a textbook case of an access agent. I've said this before, but I think it's important and it bears repeating. If you are a foreign intelligence service and you want information from Bill Clinton or Bill Gates or, Alan Dershowitz or important people, you want the secret information from them, you're not going to recruit them. They don't need anything from you. They don't have any financial vulnerabilities. So you do the next best thing and you recruit somebody who has access to them. And you finance this person. He has a private island. He's got a private jet. He flies these people down. All the bedrooms and bathrooms, we learned this week were wired for video and for sound. And then you can get them, you can catch them in these compromising positions just in case you need to squeeze them a little bit.
And just in case you need them to go against their campaign promise, and if you need them to do something that they wouldn't naturally do because it's against the interest of their country or their people. This is why there's a lot of people that believe that this is a foreign operation, because so many presidents always act against the best interest of the American people and the American country. And our interests at large are usually neglected. They're usually take a backseat in favor of other countries. That one country that now is getting almost everything that they ever wished for under the Donald Trump administration is, of course, Israel. And that's why people automatically say, yeah, there must be some kind of extortion effort with Israel. That's what they're saying. Whether that's true or not, again, no smoking gun evidence here, but this is what John Kiriakou is trying to, I think, explain here.
There's no evidence that any of them were squeezed, but just in case, and then you pass it back to your handlers. I had a trainer, one of my operational trainers, who told us when we were going through the process that the best recruitment he ever made was a copy machine repairman. And I laughed when he said it. And he said, no, I'm serious. Hear me out. He said, all of us want to recruit the prime minister. We're not going to recruit the prime minister. We're not even going to have access to the prime minister. But the prime minister's got a copy machine in his office. And every once in a while, that machine is going to need to be cleaned and serviced. So you recruit the copy machine repairman. And when he goes in there to make his repair, or to clean the drums or whatever, he installs a little device that we give him so that every time somebody makes a copy, it transmits a copy back to the CIA.
Yep, and there's many such cases. Now they do it through software, they do it through cell phones, and they're able to, of course, listen and spy on almost every single little thing that you do here. As, of course, that's one of the things that John Kiriakou was, of course, warning about. As CEO, of course, was also warning about some of the more kind of egregious, aggressive natures of the CIA that ever so became very negative towards its own population. It's supposed to work internationally, the CIA. More and more, we just see domestic use here in the most awful ways here. Now, Texas is flooding. What is Ted Cruz doing? A member, representative of that government. He's saying we need an additional $250 billion in aid to Israel, as the United States has been giving Israel almost everything that they want. And now people are saying, hey, there should be some legitimate questions. It is a bunch of Israeli-obsessed, loving kind of pundits that are saying, hey, this Epstein saga, stop talking about it. Believe the government. As, of course, Ben Shapiro has been attacking individuals like Alex Jones and saying, you either believe Donald Trump or you believe Alex Jones. And then he tarnished and tried to destroy the reputation of Alex Jones in a very disingenuous and a very, that's the previous video that we did. Go check it out. It's a very interesting one that is definitely deserving of a watch here that I think needs to be understood here in a full perspective here. But Ben Shapiro now is saying, oh, it's all Pam Bondi. It's all Pam Bondi here, which is also what Laura Loomer, another MAGA, make Iran great again type of Donald Trump supporter, as the neocons, who are predominantly aligned with the Israeli state, the John Boltons, the Nikki Haley's, the Bushes, the Cheneys, all of them, they love Donald Trump right now. They're super happy with Donald Trump. They're getting everything that they ever wanted for. And then, the John Levins and the Ben Shapiros and the Laura Loomers, like, yes, he's acting for the benefit of this foreign country, as Donald Trump is also now deporting and arresting people for writing op-eds that are politically critical of this state in Israel as well. Not America, not the Constitution, not the Bill of Rights, but America, which I find a little bit suspicious here. As, of course, now Ben Shapiro and Laura Loomer all at once saying, it's Pam Bondi. That seems like an obfuscation effort here, as we have to understand the individuals at the Daily Wire are, of course, running a full court press here against Tucker Carlson, Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan came out, posted today, shout out to all the people that still don't believe in conspiracies. Your ability to stick to your guns is inspiring. As, of course, this was the day after the Justice Department said that Epstein never kept a client list, wasn't extorting anyone, and absolutely did take himself out. Now we see Jordan Peterson
I can say this.
and Sam Harris launch an attack against Tucker Carlson and Joe Rogan, claiming that, of course, they're anti-Semitic. And again, there are some people that are, and those people deserve to be called out, but they're not Joe Rogan and Tucker Carlson. I think equating criticisms of government policies doesn't mean you hate an entire group of people, and that's the big kind of misnomer. And this is why a lot of people don't want to talk about this, because one, you're automatically lumped in. Two, you're automatically lumped in with some crazy people that really do just hate people because of the way that we're born, and I don't want to be lumped in with those people. But you're done. No, we're not. And I think we could have a legitimate adult conversation here about American foreign policy and just how ridiculous it is that we are not serving this country, not serving these people, but in many instances going out of our way to specifically, to our detriment, hurt the American interests, hurt their American reputation in exchange for currying favors with this one particular country inside of the Middle East. As, of course, now we had this kind of brain-dead type of comment from Jordan Peterson and Sam Harris, that now, of course, are sharing their support for Israel.
Same thing about Tucker Carlson, right? And you might, whether you agree with me or not, this is my view of him, that he's not in the truth-seeking journalistic integrity business. He's got some other political project that entails spreading a fair amount of misinformation quite cynically and consciously, and smearing lots of people. And in the case of, I don't know how deep his anti-Semitism runs, but in the case of that particular topic, midwifing a very misleading conversation with an amateur historian who he considers.
How dare he interview someone with an alternative point of view? He hates all people. Yeah, okay, that's just like a low-level, childish type of argument here. We could be adults in the room here, and we could say, hey, I disagreed with this guy, okay. But when you level so many, accusations, so many different types of just ridiculous notions, because you disagreed with people, I mean, that's just crazy here. And then, of course, Laura Loomer joining Ben Shapiro here, saying, support Donald Trump. As she says, quote, so many people are so quick to abandon President Trump, yet President Trump promised to release the Epstein list. His FBI director promised to release the Epstein list. We were told the Epstein list was coming out, and now we're told to shut up about it, that we shouldn't even speak about it. She says, it's sad to see. Well, no. Listen, we're not in a cult, okay? We're not supposed to worship politicians and the ground that they walk on just because they exist, okay? Politicians are supposed to work for us. When they make promises, they're supposed to keep those promises. When they fail those promises, they fail their constituents, and they fail the system that is being built more and more on lies, on compromise, extortion, blackmail, and on the backs of babies that are being sacrificed at the altar of pervy, fat, disgusting human beings that take advantage of them in all the most horrible, disgusting ways. She then says, once you understand how much gatekeeping happens around Trump, gatekeeping? So who's the one really calling the shots here? Who is the one actively telling Trump not to release the Epstein client list? As she goes on and says, you understand he is not the problem? He's the one calling all the shots here. The gatekeepers are. Who's the gatekeepers? Why don't you name some of these gatekeepers there, Laura? Why can't we find out who the gatekeepers are? Can we get some names? All right? It's just easy to say gatekeepers. It's very easy to say, oh, no, there's just these magical people. They're somewhere. We don't know where they are. We don't know who they are. But they're the ones calling the shots here. Now, listen. There forever is a deep state. It's pretty clear this government is very self-serving of this foreign government. It's pretty clear that this was a multi-agency operation here. Is it every Jewish person out there? No. Is it every schmooly out there? No. Stop it. That's ridiculous. And for people to hate people just because they were born is absolutely ridiculous, backwards, regressive, and needs to be called out in itself. And I do not want to be a part of those people. But I think it is interesting to have a conversation seeing how Donald Trump is bending over backwards for this foreign country, that now a lot of people believe that they have compromise on Donald Trump. Now, do they have compromise on Donald Trump? I don't know. I have no idea now. I don't know what in the world is going on. I don't know why Donald Trump is not keeping his promise. I don't know why he's bombing Yemen during the start of his administration very aggressively. I don't know why he's bombing Iran. I don't know why he's threatening to bomb Iran again. I don't know why he's sending more military aid to Ukraine. I don't know. But it's inconsistent. And it is consistent of what I think is pretty clear here. And that is the fact that something's up. And almost every other president before him has followed this, but Donald Trump is following this in a very aggressive manner. More aggressive than Biden was. You know, at least Biden was taking naps and not doing much. Donald Trump's doing a lot. And she says, it's hard to see unless you get it up close in person. Okay, who's in person? Laura, please explain it to us, because otherwise you're going to have a lot of people say, oh, it's you know, it's all of these people. And I'm like, stop it. Stop being ridiculous here. The conversation has devolved. I think we really need an honest one. We really need a serious one. And if you agree, share this video with your friends and family members. Lots of disinformation, lots of obfuscation efforts. I'm with the people who are asking questions because I think they're a lot better than the people just name-calling people for daring to have some concerns here. The concerns are legitimate. They're real. And I think we need to take them seriously. If you agree, get this video out there. Sign up to LukeUnfiltered.com. Let's have some fun. Let's meet up. Let's break bread. Let's do some more of these. I love you guys. Stay tuned for more. All here exclusively on YouTube.com/WeAreChange.